9 games. So, Drapes, one of the things that stands out about the Kings' recent surge is what they're doing at the defensive end. And It's interesting because you said that's something they were working on today, eh?
Yeah, they're dialed in, man. And I had talked to Doug about it, and they're doing he instituted a couple new things defensively, not just for this game, but the last 4 or 5. And the guys seem to be buying into it. And because one thing that I'm noticing, fellas, is you don't see as many free runs to the basket. Remember that Golden State game? It seemed like they had good looks from 3, good looks in the paint.
Yeah, rolling out the red carpet.
Right, yeah. Seriously. Yeah, exactly. And so now it looks like, obviously, you want to guard the ball at the point of attack. But even if you do get beat, there's your help there. Like, guys are on the string. Like, you're not on an island, where it felt like at times before, like I said, that Golden State game, you get beat, you turn around, ain't nobody behind you, nobody helping out, nobody sagging over. It seems to be, guys have each other's back out here as of late. And the numbers indicate it, man. I mentioned it. Number 5 in defensive rating since the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I confess, sometimes I kind of roll my eyes when people talk all the time about rim protection. And I know it's important, but I think sometimes people talk too much about it. It's not freaking hockey, or it's not, soccer where you have a goalie back there protecting the rim. But it is important, I know, and it was just Dallas, but I believe it was in the Dallas game. I don't remember the last time I saw this from someone playing against the Kings. Somebody drove, and my wife noticed, like, oh, he didn't want to shoot it because Valančiūnas is in there. So, that doesn't happen against the Kings where someone goes to the basket. It's like they got to kick it out because they're afraid of what's going to happen. So there definitely is that element to the Kings defense that we haven't seen before. I don't know, since Hassan Whiteside, maybe? I don't know. It's been a while.
Let me ask you this with Valančiūnas, because, I get to know him a little bit off the court, and talking to him.
See your guy?
Bus. Oh, he's definitely my guy. He's 100% my guy.
I'm not surprised.
100%. But do you think he's, and this is not a negative, this is not a shot, is he more bark than bite? Like, because he's massive, he's scary. But is he like a big teddy bear? Like, for instance, Kendrick Perkins, big perk, menacing on the court. You're scared. But then off the court, approachable, jokester. And I feel like Jonas, he's not necessarily a jokester, but he's very approachable. He'll talk to you and everything like that. Is it just the way he carries himself? Does he just, like, Steven Adams, for instance, looks like an imposing figure. You don't want to touch Steven Adams, but you talk to people behind the scenes. Nice guy, great dude. Do you think Jonas is more bark than bite?
Well, obviously,
and not in a negative way.
Right. Obviously, I don't know him like you do, but in my experience, I've noticed this with athletes. Dave Stewart comes to mind. Sometimes the toughest guys are the nicest guys because they don't have to prove anything to you. But that doesn't mean that, they're going to back down or anything. And Jonas definitely strikes me as one of those guys. You can see the way teams, they have respect for him that borders on fear because they know what he's capable of. And you do see flashes of it. The Kings saw way too much of him last year when he's playing physically and punishing you. And did you see the video of shoot around a couple of weeks ago? I think Sean Cunningham posted it, of Zach LaVine when he went up and he decided he was going to, kind of spar with Valančiūnas a little bit.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that.
So this guy could just crush you like a bug. And even though he's not coming after you, you just don't want to enrage him, Drapes. That's the way I look at it.
Right. Exactly. He's like, who was it way back? I will break you or something like that. Ivan Drago or something like, you don't want to mess with Valančiūnas. And we needed that though, Whitey. We needed that imposing figure. We needed that toughness. To your point, we needed a deterrent from teams getting to the paint and trying to score in the paint.
Right.
And Valančiūnas has given us that.
So you think the defense is legit? The reason I say that is because they have been playing bad teams. Even Houston, good team, but not a good shooting team. So those numbers that you mentioned, are the Kings earning those numbers, or are they just taking advantage of some teams like Charlotte and Dallas that are not very good?
No, I'm gonna give the numbers what they are. Like, I'm gonna respect the numbers because Houston, do they have some offensive issues? Yes, but they're still a good team. I look at a team like Charlotte. Yeah, they got some issues, but here's the thing, and I'm gonna do it flip side. I'm gonna look at it from a Denver perspective, Whitey. Denver went on that nice little 8-game winning streak. I think it was something like that, 6-game winning streak, something like that. But when you look at it, the quality of competition they beat, was awful.
Right.
They were 2-2 against winning teams, and I think 8-0 against losing teams during that streak. They had won 10 of 12. Nobody talked about, the strength of schedule or the numbers don't. No, we were saying, man, Denver's rounding into shape. They're looking good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say that about our guys too, because here's the thing. We've seen them lose to these type of teams.
Yes.
We've seen Golden State lose to Philly. A win is a win is a win, and the numbers are backing it up. And so, I'm not going to knock them for that or saying it's fool's gold or anything like that. Tonight's the test, though, obviously. You get it done tonight. And I was texting somebody earlier. They're like, man, this is a massive game. I'm like, if they win this game, the city's going to go nuts. It's going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crowd, the fan base, it's going to be some vibes. And so
it will be lit in Sacramento.
Exactly, 100%. And so, man, it would be huge if they got this one.
Brendan Nunes, our own Brendan Nunes in the chat says that Valančiūnas is super nice to us in the locker room as well. And I think, well, he's super, super nice, Brendan, to you and Frankie, especially Frankie, because Valančiūnas don't want to mess with Frankie. Am I right, Drapes?
Really? Is that
Well, would you? I mean, if you're Valančiūnas, you don't want to mess with Frankie Cardicelli.
Anybody, but
you mean Mr.
sorry, I'm
Rogers?
getting another call.
No offense to Frankie C. That's our guy, man. And I didn't get the chance to hear the Return of the Roar last night. Their show after you guys last night. But no, he's Mr. Right, and he's a new dad.
That's
as well.
right. That's
so he's
right.
a softie even more. He's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man out there.
Just be careful with Frankie, Jonas. When we come back, who Kings fans need to root for tonight in the topsy-turvy West. That's next on Sactown Sports.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared